Hello, ladies and gentlemen, all members of Human Family. I'm so happy to be your host today. Today, we have the privilege, the honor to welcome a very, very special guest and also a very good friend of mine, Valerie NAKKOMO. She's an entrepreneur, co founder of BYDI products, and also a wellness coach. She lives in Uganda now, and she's going to tell us about her life, challenges, setbacks, and maybe she has one advice or two for us. So, hello, Valerie, how are you?
Hi, Florian. How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm great. Thanks for being part of the podcast. You're the very first guest. I am so happy to have you here. And can you please tell us more about yourself?
First of all, I'm honored to be the very first guest on Weekly with Florian. Thank you so much for having me. And okay, as you said earlier, I am an entrepreneur and a business owner at Body Organics. I am also a certified holistic nutrition coach, and I'm a big Jesus girl. Okay, I love love, and I love putting things together, like formulating stuff with herbs. I love working with nature, and I think I love people. Yeah, yeah, I love love. Make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does make sense. Come on. Yeah, it
Yeah,
does.
yeah.
Yeah. So how did you I'm curious, how did you come up with the idea of BYDI?
Okay, well, by the organics, I didn't come up with this name.
Okay.
My co-owner, co-founder at the time, and dear friend, Precious, shout
Precious.
out, Mr. So at the time, we decided to merge resources and come up with this name by see she had the skills to make certain products and I had skills to make certain products.
Okay.
So we decided to come together. Skincare has always been a dream of mine, and formulating has always been something that I wanted to do, but never really got the time. So during the pandemic, when everything shut down, we decided to talk to the skills that we have outside of what we already were doing at the time. And this is technically how that was in August 2020. Yeah.
2020. Okay. And okay, 2020. That's like 2 years now. So what would you say has been like your biggest challenge so far?
My biggest challenge so far is marketing. I know, as ironic as that sounds, because I have a bachelor's in commerce and I majored in marketing, but I kid you not, nothing prepared me for what is actually in the field, especially if you're like working, doing everything yourself, right? Because everything I do is, in Body, we pride ourselves on making handcrafted products, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So having to move from where I was in India back home and having to start from the ground up and build everything single-handedly, having to market was my biggest challenge.
Marketing. Okay.
Yeah,
And what
yeah, having to convince someone why they should buy your product, like for example, body butter instead of as a Nivea lotion, or because they become way cheaper. The conventional products are way cheaper than the organic products. So I'm not very good with talking to people and stuff like that. So that is my biggest challenge so far.
I see. And yeah, we mentioned that you are also a wellness coach. Would you tell us more about that?
Well, yes, I'm a certified holistic nutrition and wellness coach. So what a wellness coach is a supportive mentor and a wellness authority who helps clients to feel the best through individual food and lifestyle changes that meet their unique needs holistically. Okay, so the thing with holistic wellness is that it's an alternative approach to health that views all aspects of an individual's life: physical, social, mental, spiritual. So you put all those aspects in. If you're not well, say for example, you have diabetes, or you're dealing with weight, your body obesity, and all those other common diseases, you come to me and you tell me what your goal is, what your health goal is. You want to achieve a certain weight, you want to lose weight, right?
Yeah.
So I coach you through what you need to do to get there, looking at you as a whole person, holistically, looking at all of those mental, spiritual, physical aspects of yourself to achieve that goal that you want, your health goal.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Sounds really interesting though.
it is.
And like, do you love it so far? How did you get into it in the first place?
Well, I've always been cautious about my health. And I love working with organic products, obviously, with Body and everything. And I figured that I've always wanted to help people. I see people always ask me, "Oh, how do you manage to stay? How do you manage to stay the way that you are? How do you keep up that weight? You still look the same." Like I had friends ask me when I come over, "Oh my God, you still haven't changed. You look the same." So I figured I can help people with this. Like, it's not really a difficult thing. I've always wanted to help people look at themselves in a better light, like to be their best version of their selves. So yeah, that is where my love for coaching came from. You know.
I see. And I mean,
Mm.
I know settling back to Uganda after so many years, I'm sure it was certainly not easy. Can you tell us about it? Like going back to Uganda, how was it in the first place? Are you still adjusting so far?
Well, it was challenging having to move from India after all of that time. India was home to me, and having to move back, I don't know, things are different. The people are different now. The mindset is different. A lot of things have changed. Yeah. And, I used to, the way that we used to carry ourselves as Ugandans, we loved helping each other and holding each other through, difficult times and stuff like that. But now it feels like people have shifted that mindset to a typical opportunistic mindset, right? So, yeah, no one really genuinely cares for the other anymore. It's just like, what can I take from you? What are you good for? Yeah, I find that really sad, but I think
Yeah,
that's
it is
in
sad.
my experience. Hmm. Yeah, in my experience, people don't have that genuinity. They don't have that love that they had for each other before. I don't know if
What
that
do you
makes
think?
sense.
What do you think caused it? Like, do you have any idea why is it this way now, and why people just decided to be more self-centered and more selfish than they used to be?
I feel like it's just the way of life, like situation, the economy, and the politics of the country is really frustrating.
I see.
And people just, yeah. So it's just, I think it's the way of life, the economy, the social factors that influence people to move from their authentic selves and love to move to that self-centeredness.
I see. Wow.
I think. Mm.
And if you had to give a piece of advice to the younger Valerie that was leaving actually Uganda for India, I mean, I know you were pretty young back then. What would be the advice? What would it be? What would you say?
Oh man, I would say be confident, trust yourself more, right? Trust your intuition, know who you are. Like, I feel like back then I didn't really know who I was. I was navigate myself, through other people. And I feel like I didn't fully step into my power as a person, as a woman, as a girl growing into a woman, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like I would tell myself to be more confident. And there's my favorite verse in the Bible. It's from 2 Timothy 1 verse 7, and it is, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of love and of power
Power. Yeah.
and of sound mind." Right. So that's one of my favorite verses. Now I would hold on to that verse and just move through life knowing that I got this. I am sane. I am love. I am good.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. And what was your biggest challenge when you first got here? Like when you first got to India, what was your biggest challenge?
My biggest challenge, I would say maybe the culture difference or the language barrier, mainly. Because back then, India was different, to be honest.
Yeah, true.
13, 13 years ago, India was different, and there were not as many foreigners as they are now.
Okay.
Okay, so people would, yeah, I wouldn't say racism, but the way that the black person was perceived as alien, like I know it's still there now, but it's not as bad as it was before. And I think people never used to
I didn't
speak
get
to.
that. You said perceived as the enemy.
I'm
You said
sorry.
I didn't get that. You said the black man was perceived back then. That's what you said,
As
right?
an alien, like
Oh yeah,
alien.
yeah. Okay, alien. Yeah. Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah, and they look at you. They would literally want to touch your hair, want to touch you. You get. It was so strange, man, and it was ah ha ha ha. They would look at you, and then you feel out of place, and then they never actually spoke English as much as they do now.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
That even in class, the lecturer would sometimes lecture in like half Hindi, half English. It was that bad.
Yeah, they will
But
be like so they will be teaching like half English and half the local
yeah,
language, is
yeah,
it?
and not give a damn if there is a
Exactly.
foreign student in there.
That's what I was about to say. Like you don't even care there was a foreign student inside the class.
Completely, you see me, I'm
Wow.
right there. But then, yeah, I think the
They still
language
go on
barrier
with it.
also, yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
that's
yeah,
what
yeah. So
maybe
you,
one of the reasons of some dropped out. I think maybe I don't know, but
I'm sorry.
I mean I think that may be one of the reasons that so many foreign students dropped out.
Hmm.
That could be,
I
yeah.
mean, yes, that could be true. You know, because it was hard. But as time went by, it got easier and easier, and there were more people coming in, and then the Indians started to welcome the black person more, especially in the part where we are in Bangalore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Is there anything you regret or wish you had done differently during your time in India?
Regret? No, I don't think I have regrets, but I do wish that I had chosen better company. I wish that I had, yeah, trusted myself a little more and been more confident in who I am. In my time there, especially in my beginning, the first 4, 5, 6 years, I got acquainted with people from all walks of life. And like all things, it has its pros and its cons. And when you're a young girl like I was, when you don't know who you are, you try to find yourself in okay, let me rephrase that. You find that if you don't know who you are, so you let the people around you and the circumstances define you, and in a way that chips away from who you are authentically as a person.
I see.
Yeah, so
Okay. Wow.
yeah, so I feel like I wish I had chosen better company, because then you would have better mentors, better people to influence, to drive your character to be a much better version of yourself.
Self.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So company. Okay. Oh wait. I also know that you're a singer.
Okay.
How did you start? I mean, where did you actually find out that you could sing? Because I know I can sing, and I found out a long time ago. So how did you find out that you could sing? You could actually sing.
First of all,
When? How did you start?
first of all, now I know that you can sing. You're going to sing for me.
No, you're the one who's gonna
And for
sing.
your listeners, you
I'm
definitely have to do something for it.
I'm the speaker. You're the singer. Let's not mix our tasks here.
Ah, okay. So, well, to be honest, I never really had that light bulb moment, where I feel like, oh yes, I can really sing. I've just really always loved music. My parents were really big music people. My dad had this like really deep country, big country, like Keanu Reeves type of voice.
Okay.
And so I grew up around music. He was a singer.
Okay.
So
So we can say you
yeah,
got it from
so
him then.
what?
We can say that you got it from him, I guess.
Not really. He wasn't really that much present in my life,
Okay.
but yeah, but I grew up around music,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does. It does. Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I grew up, when you're a kid, you have all these dreams. You want to be an astronaut, you
Yeah,
want to be
yeah.
a doctor.
I wanted to be a fireman. I
So,
wanted to be a doctor, football
yeah.
player. I had like 4 or 5
Uh-huh.
professions I wanted to do at the same time.
Right, right. So I wanted to be a musician, but in our day and era, it doesn't really count. Music is not a career, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that was never an option for
Plus,
me. So
sometimes
when I
about
came,
singing, the bad, I would say like the dark side of the bad thing about it is like sometimes you got to rely on luck as well, not only on your talents, because there are so many great singers out there, but they never, you know, made it out, become superstars or things like that. So yeah, luck plays a big role.
right,
Yeah,
right, right, there's that bit of luck. I feel like God gives us gifts,
yeah,
but if you're not anointed to do something, you can't really. You could have a great voice, but if that's not what God purpose for you to do, you cannot flourish,
yeah.
even though you are great at what you're doing.
Like when you
So,
mentioned gift, I remember a quote. I think our life is a gift from God, and what we do with our life is our gift to God.
right, right. Our whole purpose is to worship, right? Is to give back, the glory that God has given us as human beings, in my own understanding. Yeah. So I never really pursued music professionally, but when I was in India, and there's a period in my life where I was stuck after I finished school and refused to come back home. And yeah, my rebel phase. And in that period, I met a wonderful gentleman. His name's King Brian. He's from Cameroon, and he was already a musician, and he was looking for black girls to sing with. And I just remembered how I've always wanted to pursue music but never had the chance. So when he brought it up, and I told him that I've always wanted to be a singer, and he's like, okay, let's give it a try and see how this works out for you. So I tried it with him. He coached me through it. We started going to shows together. I did back up for him a little bit. And that is basically where my singing career started. I'm like, hey, I'm not so bad at this. So, yeah, so I
We,
continued on that path
I will let the
until
audience. I will let the audience judge in a few minutes, but the
oh, you putting me out to dry like that?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
that's my job. That's what I do. Anyway, actually, so I just love this. It's just the way talking about your journey, because this life it's a journey we call life, and we have episodes and all stories to tell, and I just love all the stories you're telling, because I can tell that so many people can really relate to what you went through, not only moving from Uganda coming here, but the time you spent here and all the careers you chose, like becoming an entrepreneur and also singing and becoming a wellness coach. It's really inspiring. So thank you for that. Yeah, it's amazing, really amazing. If you have an advice to give young students, young Africans, or just international students in general who are coming to India for studies, what would you tell them?
My advice to the young people coming in India to study, I would say come in with an open heart and an open mind. Expect things to be different from the normal as you know it. And I would also tell them to be intentional, focus on whatever they're there for. If you're there to study, focus on that and don't deviate from it. And the way that you can actually do that is if you plan your time ahead and accordingly, right? So you set goals annually and try to achieve them as best as you can. And I would say masala is a real thing, okay? It's in everything you eat, it's everywhere, it's in everything you drink. Masala is a culture, bro. So you better just get used to that. It will grow on you with time.
Stop complaining. Just get used to it.
Yeah, get used to it because it's not going nowhere. It's a whole ass culture. Excuse my language.
Definitely not going away.
But you do know it is strange at first how masala is in everything. Like
Yeah,
even in a drink,
in
in a
drinks. Yeah, yeah.
beverage. I
They
mean,
mentioned
come
like
on.
masala. Yeah, that was yeah. That's something.
Yeah, a thumbs up is an acquired taste, something I never really got around to understanding, even liking, but I never really what's that masala soda? I forgot the name.
Never had that. Never tried.
Have
I
you?
mean, I think when I first came here, I think I was in my mind I was like I would try things I am familiar to, and I won't put my belly through trouble. I really don't wanna take that risk, because I'm here, I'm far away, and yeah, I have only some friends I can rely on. So let's not look for trouble when there are
Right.
none.
But you know the interesting part about this, why I say that it grows on you, if you stay in a place for more than, let's say, 6 years, your body starts to adapt
Yeah,
to
yeah,
the way of life of the place. So they teach this in the course that I was doing. And with the food, even your body starts to adjust. If you were to eat masala for a month, 3 weeks, or four, trust me, your body would adjust to it, and
yeah,
you wouldn't. Yeah, you wouldn't even want to eat food without the masala.
I mean,
So the body is very interested
it's
in that
weird.
way.
It's weird how a human being we just operate. You just mentioned it earlier about going back to Uganda. I mean, it's your home, it's the homeland, but
Right,
you spend a few time here, like I think maybe third of your life in here, and you still
right,
adjusting to what you're supposed to call home. Like just like you said, India
right.
was home, and I've spoke to so many people who went back, like went to Congo, Ivory
Mm-hmm.
Coast, and I have also a friend who's in Mali. She said the same thing. Like I got here in the beginning was
Right,
great, meeting my family members and then meeting friends I haven't seen in a long time. But I always think about India.
right.
Like I still miss India. Like I still feel like okay, this was home. Here I'm just a guest, or here I'm a stranger. It's weird. I feel really weird about that. What you
It
think?
is.
In it? Yeah.
Yeah, it is really weird how to this day I've been here for it's coming to 2 years now almost, right? And I still feel like I'm adjusting in the same way. And it doesn't really feel like home to me. I feel like I'm an alien in this. With time, home is home. Like
Yeah.
it'll always be a part of you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Always
but
will.
with time, the body starts to adjust and the mind, and then you start to fit in, and then yeah,
I
you're
think
good
I
to
think
go.
adjusting after, like, when you in your 20s, or maybe after 25, is quite sometimes difficult. I mean,
Mhm.
sometimes you just get used to some type of living, and then just going somewhere and
Right.
adjusting all over again. It's like you again a baby, you again growing up, and it's a lot sometimes when you're already an adult. But most of
Yeah,
us make it work. We eventually, yeah, find a way, I guess.
absolutely,
Yeah. What would you say
absolutely.
really helped you while you were here? Like, because you just mentioned the life you were, when you were here, and everything was so different, and you said it. I mean, school and the people here also, they treated, Africa in some type of way. Sometimes they have questions, they don't even know it's racist. They just ask you. So what would you say really helped you to, make it out? I'll be a little bit dramatic. Make it out alive.
Yeah, make it out alive. Yeah, okay. I feel like throughout my 20s, I went through all those phases that people go through, growing
Growing
up.
up, yeah.
And yeah, obviously there was a dark period in my life where I was lost and I felt hopeless. Yeah, and I couldn't come back home because I didn't want to. And I really didn't want to come back. And I think that's just my own personal journey. I feel like I was running from something. That's a whole other different thing. But the thing that held me together and helped me make it out as a whole person is my relationship with God, my spirituality. It was my glue, to say the least.
Okay.
Because if I didn't have God, Florian, I don't know where I would be, to be honest.
Amen.
And once I made the conscious decision to get to know God and build my relationship with Him, that is when things started to literally turn around for me. You see, and I wouldn't change that for anything. And even through the things that happened earlier on, or the person that I was before, is not to say a victim of some sort or whatever. It's a part of me. I still love that girl that was crazy, misguided, But yeah, she made me who I am. She made me stronger. I know it's as cliche as it sounds, but it really does help you to grow and become the best version of yourself.
Yourself.
To God I give the glory. I cannot lie. My spirituality is what held me together and made me, you know, come out alive, like you said.
I see.
Yeah. So I feel like it's like you said, it's a lot of young people that are there with intention to study or do whatever, and then they get lost. When you don't have parental guidance, most of us come out and when we come out there, it's like freedom. Yes, I'm free. I can do whatever the hell I want. And and now you find yourself exploring things and getting caught up in situations that you have no business getting caught up in. I encourage everybody to just have that spiritual grounding, whatever it is. Some people believe in God, others believe in nature and energies and whatnot, and others are atheists, but they believe in doing good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So I
yeah.
feel like, yeah, the common thing that all these religious or spiritual practices have is love, right? Spread love, compassion, do
Yeah,
good, right?
yeah, yeah.
So when you build that, when you have that background with you, you carry it with you, it will help you when you're still going through turbulent times or you don't know what you're doing with your life. I feel like a spiritual grounding is very important for every person. no matter what that looks like for you.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Couldn't have said it better. Amazing. Yeah. Last question. I mean, the world is a messy place, but in this messy place, there are millions of beautiful souls, and I am sure I met you. You are one of them. If there's anything you think humans should cultivate more so we can have a better world, what would it be?
Oh man, I think love. I'll say that again.
Love,
Love.
love, baby.
Love is the answer. Love is all that we need to make things better. I feel like as we get older and older, as the world as years go by, people are just getting less and less, stepping away from that aspect of love within them, because we're born with love. Because look at it, when you're a child,
Yeah,
you have so much love when you're innocent.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
You don't know
yeah, so
hatred.
as
You
you
don't know
grow
how
up,
to hate when you're young, or when you're a baby, or when you're a child.
right?
You just don't know what it
Uh-huh.
is. Yeah. Actually, the
Look,
society teaches us to hate and teaches us to be
right.
careless about others and to be selfish. But I don't think we were born that way.
Yes, exactly. So why does it have to be like that? So I feel like the answer to all of that is if we cultivate more love with each other, even as you grow up, right?
Yeah.
When you grow up and you decide to be a parent, you are going to you are the one that's going to the character of your child, right? And if you don't have that love within you, it begins with you. If you don't have that self-love,
Yeah.
the love that that is inside, if you don't have love of self, you cannot you cannot give what you don't have.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Wow. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So
You only give
there's a
what you
saying that
have.
yes, there's a saying that you cannot pour from an empty cup. So if you're void of that love from within you, there's no way that you were going to be able to love somebody else
Yeah.
unconditionally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
True. True. We'll end
Yeah. So
our
I feel
episode
like
with a short quiz. A very
okay.
short one. If you were an animal, what would you want to be?
Oh man, black jaguar, baby. A black jaguar. Yes, I think I'm so fascinated by this animal. It is such a beautifully dark and elegant, fierce creature. So I feel like I'd rather be on top of the food chain
Then
than
be the
being
prey.
prey.
You want to be
Okay.
the predator.
Exactly. I would never choose to be an ant or like a rabbit. Rabbits are cute. I love rabbits. But I would rather be up there, with all the fierceness and all that power.
Okay. Second
So
second
yeah,
question of our
definitely a
quiz.
black jaguar.
Yes or no? Do you regret coming to India?
Absolutely not. No,
Third,
I don't regret it at
what is
all.
the one thing you cherish the most?
Hi, Jesus.
Woo!
Okay. That's a trick question. God damn
I
it.
know.
What is the one thing I cherish the most? Relationships with people, connecting with people. Yeah.
Noted.
It's funny because I'm an introvert, but I think when I connect with people, I feel like there's a certain part of me that just feels good, and just I feel like building relationships is something that I cherish the most, even though I don't do it as often as possible.
Okay,
But
that's
yeah,
quite a paradox. So you're saying you like, building relationships, but you don't do it much, really?
no, you said okay. When you say you cherish the most, I cherish it, but I don't do it as often as I
Well,
should.
when I
Okay, don't
ask when
judge
I ask
me.
what's the one thing you cherish the most, I believe that you cherish something that you have or something that you do regularly.
Yes, I do have it. I have it.
Okay,
Okay, I
all right.
have the potential relationship, and I
Okay.
do have relationships, and those that I have, I cherish. Make sense?
Yeah, it does now.
Mhm.
Okay.
Those that I build on, I cherish.
Okay, thank you for helping us. Any last word? No, no last word. I prefer something. Can you sing something just to end the podcast?
Oh my God. Oh
Yeah,
my
he's
God.
gonna help you
I
on this one.
aspired it. I never aspired it at all. Man. Just probably to sing something. What can I say? Mm, okay. It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here. You can take a break. Hold air balloon that can go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Or whatever.
Any last word? Any last word, Valerie?
I used to sing that song a lot, so it's the first one that came to mind.
Okay. Any last words? Anything you like to tell the audience, Valerie?
First of all, I want to thank you for me as your first guest on this
Very welcome.
Florian
My
episode.
pleasure.
It's such an honor and a blessing. Yeah. So, to the listeners out there, I would say cultivate that self-love. Again,
Love
I'm back with the love.
yourselves.
Yes, cultivate that self. The love is the answer. I mean, cultivate that self-love, love yourself, no matter what that looks like for you. You know, it could be do the things that you love to do, the things that give you life. Hold on to those things and treat yourself better than anybody could ever treat you, because ain't nobody gonna love you better than you love yourself.
Yeah,
So
true.
yeah, that is just the advice that I give to everybody out there.
Wow. Thank you so much for being for being the guest, our very first guest. That's also an honor. We're talking to a big singer here, even though she haven't dropped a song yet, but she's a great singer.
Thank you. No shade, no pressure whatsoever. Thank you.
So thank you so much. I really hope we can have you again in the near future. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for listening to this amazing interview, this amazing episode. I'll see you next time for another amazing episode of Weekly with Florian, to uplift and inspire. Take care of yourself, members of human family. Goodbye.
Peace and love.